Hi everyone, I'm Alex Kazan with Eurasia Group. I'm going to be teaching a course at Globus in Tokyo in October with Ian Bremer and with Mitachi-san from BCG. We're going to be talking about a lot of things over 2 full days, but I thought what I'd do is preview a couple of the things that we'll be talking about in October. The first is, what does the election of President Trump in the US mean for Japanese business people? There's 3 main things that I think we can think about in terms of clear implications. The first and the most obvious is trade, right? One of the first things that President Trump did after his election was he withdrew the US from the TPP. This has very obvious consequences both for the role of the US in the Asian trading and broader economic system, for the role of Japanese leadership in developing and building out regional trade agreements going forward. And it, of course, has direct implications for the US-Japanese business relationship. The second is about security, right? The election of Trump, a lot of things he said in the campaign, and of course, increasing threats from North Korea have raised a lot of questions about the durability of ongoing US support for Japan and, more broadly speaking, for security in Asia. So this is another sort of direct implication or result of the Trump presidency, raising uncertainty, raising questions that have a direct bearing on Japanese business. And the third is really more broad, and this is to think about what the trends in the US, of the US pulling back at the margin from global leadership. Now, Trump is not driving this, but he really is accelerating this trend. What does that mean for the role of the US in the broader world? And that means a world and an economy and a trading system that's more fragmented. It's going to be more difficult to be global. And what does that mean for Japan's place in the world and the place of Japanese businesses in the world? On the one hand, it does potentially open some opportunities. The outlook, the longer-term outlook for the broader Asian economy is pretty positive compared to a lot of places around the world. But it also creates more complexity, more fragmentation. It will be harder and more expensive to be global, whether you're an American company, European company, or Japanese company. The second thing, and this is going to really get into a lot of the topics that we'll be discussing during the 2 days in October, is why does this matter for you? Your everyday job as an executive helping run a business in Japan, why should you care about geopolitics? Now, we're going to spend 2 days talking about why you should care, but let me go over very quickly a couple of the reasons or a couple of the ways that you should think about incorporating thinking about geopolitics into your everyday job. The first is thinking about strategic decisions, anticipating change in the world, anticipating change that's driven by regulatory decisions, that's driven by broader political shifts, that's driven by policy decisions that may impact growth or profitability. That's the most obvious. Another area is operational risk, right? Supply chain management, the whole broad set of running, managing assets within countries. Some countries that may have more unstable political systems, and so politics can often create or exacerbate operational risks. And then financial risks, right? Markets are increasingly driven by politics, and so understanding where markets are going to go requires a very fundamental understanding both of the broad geopolitical landscape, but also that specific country's domestic politics. So we're going to spend 2 days talking about all these things. I'm very excited to be there in Tokyo. Coming up pretty soon, not too far from now, I'll be there with Ian Bremer, with Mitachi-san. Very much looking forward to it. Hope to see several of you there in October.